Hello lords and ladies of YouTube, and welcome back to Nightly Gaming's Nightly Gaming and another episode of Kickstarter Roundup. So, moving right into our featured games of the week, I want to start with a game called Cycle of Tirring? I think it's Cycle of Tirring. It's a little bit of a weird name, I know, but it's made by a person named Donovan Jackson. Their headline reads, Cycle of Tirring is a roguelike action platformer heavily inspired by Metroid and Castlevania. Each playthrough is different. So that basically says it all. This game is clearly inspired by Metroidvania style games, and it stays relatively true to that. But what's interesting about it is it's apparently a roguelike. So when you die, you start from the beginning, the level changes, you have to go through it again, so every time it's different. Usually there's some kind of progression moving between each time you die. What's really interesting though is I'm assuming that means that the levels are somewhat randomly generated, so whether or not he takes segmented sections and just kind of connects them together, or if he has some kind of plan on how to make the platforming randomized but in a way that's still beatable and playable, will be interesting to me, because platforming is usually a pretty precise thing on what you're going to do in terms of construction, but making it somewhat randomly generated could create all sorts of problems. So I'm interested to see how he overcomes that, and whether or not it's going to be a fun platformer still, even with the randomly generated issues that he comes up with. So I'm interested. The graphics are also a pretty nice, kind of clear 2D style, little anime kind of inspired, but definitely kind of have a retro feel to it. But yeah, no, so this game has me curious. If you're interested in backing, you have 15 days left to back them, and if you want, I'll leave a link in the description down below. But moving on to our next game is Abacus by Dan JB. Their headline reads, an action-packed 2D platform shooter, complete with explosive bees and a multiplayer capable level editor. So this game isn't exactly complicated. It's a fun-looking 2D shooter with multiplayer options. There are some cool guns that shoot, big waves of lasers or shooting bees, which is interesting to me. Looks like it has a pretty decent level editor, so you can kind of create your own stages. So basically, it looks like it'll be a lot of fun to play with friends for the most part. Nothing super complicated. There is 21 days left to back them if you're interested, and I will leave a link in the description below. Moving on to our third game, though, I want to talk about a game called Torne Valley by Donkey Kwan Games. Headline reads, it's like The Last of Us meets Eve set in a world like The Walking Dead. Massive online gameplay with an all-new progression system. So this game seems more like a story-driven DayZ to me than the combination they said. I can kind of see where they got that combination, but definitely seems more like a story-driven DayZ to me. You walk around exploring the world, collecting items from abandoned buildings, and dealing with the undead while kind of managing your scarce supplies. The graphics look nice. They have a bit more of a toony style. They're a little less realistic. It still looks nice and somewhat realistic, but the character models are a little bit more on the toony side. I actually think they look really nice, though. The beginning of the story that they're showing of the world seems really interesting. There's like this whole government conspiracy thing going on. Overall, it's looking like it's going to be a really fun game. Their progression system looks interesting as well. I wouldn't say it's anything super innovative, but it looks interesting. Overall, though, I think this game looks like a fun zombie post-apocalyptic survival game. So if that's what you're into, then I would say check it out. And if you're interested in backing them, there is 27 days left to back them, and I will leave a link for you down in the description below. But with that, I want to move on to our recommended game to back this week, which is a game called Deserted by Zebec Media. So, their headline reads, uncover the secrets of a ravaged planet as you journey into its depths and fight for survival against unknown terrors. So to start off, I want to mention that this game looks beautiful. The graphics are great on this one, and the sound that they have so far in the trailer and things like that seems to go really well with this idea of this somewhat ominous, mysterious alien planet. So I really enjoyed that part of it. This game also seems like it's definitely going to be a story-driven game, and the story seems really interesting from what they're hinting at. Really got my attention, really makes me curious as to what is going on here, what kind of story they're going to be telling. It really catches my attention. It does also have combat and some interesting looking enemies, so it's primarily story driven, but it does have other gameplay mechanics. It looks like maybe some slight platforming, possibly, and then some kind of dungeon crawler-esque style combat from what I could tell. And it looks interesting, but this is definitely a game that you would probably get for the story more than anything from what I can see. But yeah, no, this game is definitely one that I feel is going to be worth funding, and if you are interested in backing them, you have 14 days left to do so, and I will leave a link for you down in the description below. But with that, I want to ask, what games do you guys think I should have put on this list, and what games do you think I put on the list that didn't deserve to be on the list? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Always curious to hear what you guys think. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, click that like button. It's always appreciated. If you want to check out any of my previous videos, then you can check out my channel. I do videos every single day. And if you want to be notified whenever I put out new videos, including Kickstarter Roundup, which I do every single Saturday, then you can click that nice red subscribe button and be notified whenever I put out new videos. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!